Are you able to hear me now? Ama lazima ni login. Kai. Okay. So am I audible? So let me know when I need to start. Then I'll just start.
Can you hear me now? Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Sorry about that. It was a challenge on my side.
Okay.
Yes, so thank you for joining us in the first conversation of 2026. And the base is Africa Conversations on Wednesdays. So we'll be hosting learning sessions about different topics every Wednesday. And I will be your host for today. My name is Jane Onga, and I am a community builder, a product builder, a people builder. And it's a great honor to host you guys on this space. I think you can do a quick intro about yourself, what you do, and then we can take right off.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, my name is Hazard. Frank Hazard, and I'm also a global based builder. I also create content on, especially on DeFi and crypto, and also sometimes I develop develop decentralized apps, and yeah, just help communities, especially in the crypto space, to learn about crypto, to develop, rather to just learn about blockchain development. And today I'm wearing a different hat. I'm also teaching people about prediction markets. Yeah. So yeah, that's a little bit about myself. Yeah, and something else that I do occasionally is I also have a Web3 podcast channel called Do Your Own Research, where we just talk about blockchain, crypto, AI, and all the new trends in the world of tech. Yeah, so that's a brief introduction about myself.
Awesome, awesome. I'll put links to your Do Your Own Research podcast in the comments so that everybody can check your work out. I think you've been doing an amazing job just breaking down crypto concepts into simple, understandable topics. I've seen your work and I've loved it. And yes, today we're talking about prediction markets, and I think your the title or the name of your podcast is very apt to this conversation. Do your
Yeah.
own research. This is not financial advice. This is a learning opportunity, a conversation to anyone looking to trade, anyone looking to understand what is the all this noise about prediction markets that's going around. Anyone who has a product and wants to turn it into something, this is the best space to start with. And also, if all this is just noise and you don't know what this means, it's also a good place to start with. So I'm just gonna start on that. And this space was inspired by your article that you recently wrote on how to make money on Polymarket. Maybe just to understand what piqued your interest there. Why did you write this article? What is interesting for you here? Are you trading on Polymarket? Are you a trader yourself? Yeah.
I am a trader, but I'm not currently. I'm still doing research because before you start doing, okay, that's my rule. Before I start doing something blindly, uh, I like doing small research first of all and just knowing what I'm getting myself into. Unlike before, where you could just do stuff and learn the hard way. So I resorted to this method of probably doing some small research first and just after getting a bit of knowledge. Also, don't overdo research, just do a bit of research, then how you can start doing things out there. Now, back to your question. What inspired me is crypto and tech, especially in this modern era, revolve so fast. So currently what's been trending is prediction markets. If you've been keen on what's going on, prediction markets are the new shiny thing that's happening. Though it's been there for a while, since I think 1700s, but now people have come to uh, learn about it. So yeah, so after that is what after I saw all the noise about prediction markets, Polymarket, Kalshi, and stuff. So I decided to just write probably an article to guide people about it, and also as a learning case for me. So yeah, that's what really drove me to writing the article. Though I don't, maybe I will pull it much later as we continue. Yeah.
Yeah. I think so, and I've also shared it on the tweet
Mhm.
because I also I've seen I've seen Kalshi especially trending so much, and mostly because of the money that they were able to raise just for that product, right? I mean, I was just like, wow, this is wild. So when I saw your article, I was like, okay, cool. Let me get to understand then how this works, because for me, it just sounded like betting. It's like, am I betting? But then when I read your article, I was intrigued because you said this is trading information, and I have a background in trading. I've traded shares for quite some time, and
Mhm.
from your article, I got that it's basically the same concept. And we'll get into that. I'll let you just explain what all that means. But there's also a point that you've mentioned that's very interesting to me. So prediction markets are dating back to what you said, the 1800s.
Um, as long as civilization started,
Okay.
people have
Yeah,
been betting on major events.
yeah,
If you've been watching, not really watching, but even when we were young or something, we could actually predict like when you go home late, if you're going to be punished, something like that. So those are some sort of predictions. So for example, let me give you like an informed example of in early modern societies, probably during uh, royal successions or even war, you could get that people used to wager on the eventualities of who would get certain positions or who would win certain kinds of war. even in ancient times in Greece, Babylon, people are always gambling about political outcomes. If if you've been watching or reading about probably such kinds of Greek mythology, you would see people always wagered. Um, for instance, if a certain group had like a really strong warrior, they would wager if the warrior would triumph or die in the next battle. So if you look at that, it's a form of, it was already a form of prediction market because they were trying to predict the future. Then in the early modern societies, formalized forecasting now started coming up through things like wagering on even so these actually made rise to academic markets. Like if the listeners have time, they can go through something called the Iowa electronic markets. So where you'll get people actually betting on academic stuff. Then now fast forward in the 90s and probably early 2000s, early platforms like Predictive, InTrade started coming about. Then if you are into crypto and blockchain, if you can remember, I can't pronounce it correctly, but it's
Mm.
Augur, Augur.
Oh, yeah. Let me
Yeah,
just
it
put
was
it in
built
the chat
on
as well.
Ethereum.
Mm.
So in Augur, people could just uh, create a wager and then they could place their. Uh, so it was like a new tool leveraging on blockchain where with smart contracts, markets could now operate automatically. So decentralized prediction platforms began appearing around that time. So what happened in Augur, which was built on ETH, it allowed anyone to create and trade prediction markets where users could just bet on outcomes ranging from sports, politics, and weather patterns. I feel like they are super early, like they were so early because
Mm.
by then it didn't really make sense to, to the majority. Then Gnosis, if you know Gnosis, nowadays it's just known as an infrastructure, but they also took a kind of a different approach in enabling prediction markets. But nowadays they focus more on infrastructure, tooling, and protocols, so that other apps could use to create customized forecasting markets. Yeah, so that's a bit of a snapshot of prediction market. So it has always existed since civilization started.
I like that breakdown. And I thank you for just giving us a history of how we got here. Now, my question is, why the renewed why the renewed interest in this? Do you have any insights as to what is pushing just this renewed vigor into prediction markets? Why are we seeing more capital inflows into this sector? And I mean, you've said yourself, Alga was Ali, right?
Mm.
So what's the difference now?
Mm, yeah, so prediction markets, the way I would put it is that let me use probably sports betting sites. Prediction markets are a bit different from sports betting sites because you kind of invest in your focus. So let me use you remember the presidential elections, the US presidential elections. But then none of the things we are saying here is, they're just for education purposes and such.
Very important.
Yeah,
Very
yeah. So
important.
so in just during the US elections, there were polls. they're usually these polls. I've forgotten their names. They're these companies that kind of host polls for elections mostly.
Mm.
Like they try and see who might win, check out a lot of things. But now prediction markets have a similar thing, but now there's uh, there's an incentive involved. Like you're not just spouting words that I know who will win. Now
Mm.
you're kind of investing on investing in the outcome. Like say I say President X will win, and I'm uh, wagering $1,000 of my money. So as you can see from that model, people are investing in what they are actually talking about. So let me use an example of how everyone knows Vitalik. So, and I quote, he once said that on social media, a lot of people talk about, for instance, say there will be World War. I'm not saying he said there would be, but as an example, there would be World War Six. Let me use World War Six because it's
Mm.
non-existent. So people will just talk on social media. There will be World War Six. But now with prediction markets, if you make a dumb bet, you will lose because you not only say there will be World War Six, you back it with your own money. So from that analogy, you can see if so now the prediction markets kind of eliminates just talking because you have invested your money. You are actually making a prediction and you're backing it up with something. So they are more um, accurate. Let me use the term accurate
Mm.
because prediction markets reward accuracy, not loud opinions. Because whatever you're saying, if it's true, you will get rewarded. So that's why I feel like prediction markets are they're way better than just normal polls poll sites that, for instance, in nowadays in X or in WhatsApp, you can quickly create a poll like, will we
Yeah.
go to bowl tomorrow, yes or no? But in prediction, there is money involved. People
Mm.
who think we will go will wager something. People who don't will wager something. So this kind of creates accuracy because accuracy will be rewarded, sort of. Yeah, that's why I think it's prediction markets are interesting and better than normal polls.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And given that Kenyans are so opinionated, I log on to X sometimes and I'm just like, okay, if Kenyans were the ones, I don't know if there's anybody building a prediction site that is more localized because when I look at Polymarket and I look at Kalshi, I would like a local context onto it because the way Kenyans especially are opinionated on X, we will benefit so much in putting our money where our mouth is, right? So I agree with you. And I think the other thing is the collective knowledge that people have. It's I think it's more accurate than just the way normal markets work, where maybe insiders get to win more. But here, I think outside in the open, I'm putting I'm putting $100 on what I believe in, right? And at the end of the day, um, I either lose or win. And maybe this is a good time to explain exactly how then this works, right? If you take a site like Polymarket, which is what you based your article on, if you had to give me an explanation or a user journey, maybe I can share my screen on where Polymarket is at, but if you had to explain how exactly I am getting involved, right? So who is putting I'd call them the market that I'm trading, how am I getting involved? How am I winning? How is the process from end to end? Uh, yeah,
Have you shared?
no, I haven't. I haven't shared the screen yet.
Now I have to look for the.
You can share yourself still and take us through
I think you
who's
should
which
share.
markets. I share? Okay.
Yes.
Um, yeah, but in the meantime, you can just give us a rundown. How does this all work?
Okay. So, what example should I use? I can use uh, any example. How does
Use
use
a
a
sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so let me use an example. Um, I have so many examples. Okay, what is currently trending? I'm usually kind of social media. You can give me what's trending, then I give you an example with that.
What's trending on my side could be very different, but let's see. Do you think that this is gonna be controversial? I don't want to get into politics. Let me find something fun, all right? So, do you think Rihanna is pregnant with her fourth baby? I oh no, Rihanna is pregnant with her fourth baby. I think yes or no.
Yeah, so for instance, that's like a pop culture kind of prediction.
Mm,
So now what happens in poly market when someone raises such a poll in the poly market thing? So the share is between 0 to 1. So
mhm,
what that means is let's say yes is 40% and no
mhm,
is 60%. It means whoever says Rihanna is pregnant is
mhm,
buying the current news at 40% at 0.4. Let me use $0.4.
mm,
Is buying the news. If the news will be right, it
mhm.
um, they have bought the answer, the $1 of the right news at 0.4. So the profit is 0.6. Am I making sense?
Yes, you are. You are
Yeah.
because
It
it's just
means
mhm,
the people who say yes because it's at 40%. It means that if it's established Rihanna is pregnant, uh, because you bought like you agreed with it when it was still 40% early. It means you bought the $1 at 40%, which is $0.4. So you will be at profit of $0.6. So now if you put your $1,000, you will be at profits of 1,600. Let me use ten.
yeah,
Let me use $10,000. Yeah. You'll be at profits of 1,600 because you bought $1,001 shares at 0.4 cheaper. So 0.6 is your profit. So 0.6 times 1,000, that's 600 profit. I'm
it's
complicating, but it's very
no, no,
simple.
no.
Yeah.
It's very simple because for me, what it sounds like is like I'm buying a dollar. Instead of paying that dollar, I'm paying at a discounted price. So if
Yeah.
I win, right, then
Yes.
I get I win the difference, right? So
Hmm.
if I lose on the other hand, I don't get anything. I get zero.
Yeah. You lose. Yeah. The house. We. It's not about the house, but yeah, the contract, the smart contract keeps all of your money.
Yeah, and
However, it doesn't
yeah,
keep it. The guys who said no get
mm,
the money.
yes,
Yeah. So the
because
no people will get the money because it takes the
because
money from the no people and rewards the yes people.
yeah, because it's like it's not it's more of like an exchange rather than a betting site than a casino, right? What I mean is it's not that you're betting against the house, you're betting against the other person on the other side who said no, right? So what
Yeah.
Polymarket gets is maybe a fee there in between, but it's like I won and you lost. So the money is not going to the house because the house is not cheating me in any way. It's going to the other person who won, right?
Yeah, and just on a bit technical sides, there are oracles that are confirming those news real time. So
Mm.
oracles are how can I describe it? But they're just, let me use rails that confirm the news, confirm real world data very fast and bring them on chain to acknowledge whatever is happening is what has been, whatever you said is whatever. Let's say like Rihanna,
Mm.
maybe there's an oracle that confirms her pregnancy very fast and relays it on the market, so to confirm the news is true very fast. Yeah,
Mm.
so I can see your screen there. Very very interesting polls. Like, what is that? Will silver hit dash by end of January?
Yeah.
One
So
fifty dollars.
$50.
So like this one is a bit a very complex one. So
Mm.
150, 140.
Let me go
So
to a simpler one, maybe like
I
culture.
can also explain this one. Okay,
Okay,
okay. You can
sorry.
go to any. You can go to
Um,
any. Yeah.
so let me go to Elon Musk. Elon Musk uh, tweets January 23rd to January 30th, 2026. I think it's a number of tweets between 220 to 239 tweets. Oh my.
So what are people doing?
Mm.
Oh, they're saying how many number of tweets will he do
Yeah.
between now and Jan 30?
Yeah, but I think this is already out because he's tweeted even more than that range. He's tweeted,
Yeah, so
so I
then
think
the
those,
yes
yeah,
people already won
have
it.
won. Let's go back to the one that we had earlier because it's still live. So, will silver hit $150 by end of January?
So whoever thinks, so there are so many price ranges. So
Mm,
whoever picks to wager on the 150 price range,
mm,
so they can either buy the yes at 0.8, which
mhm,
means their profit will be 0.2, or buy the no at 99.3.
mm,
So now what happens if it hits the 150?
mm.
It means the yes person, he bought at 0.8 cents.
Yeah,
Yeah, so he bought a dollar at 0.8 cents, so his profit is 0.2. So
yeah.
if he bought 10k dollars, his profits will be 2k.
Mm, I see.
Yeah,
I see.
and
I
no,
see.
he will lose. So that
Mm,
means if it hits the 150 range, everyone else who bought anything aside from 150 yes
mm,
have forfeited their money because they've lost.
I see.
Yeah.
So a quick one. If I, for example, so I can see so many prizes here, and I think this is a good place to go into some of the concepts also your article talked about. So there are different strategies of winning on this market. And the first one that you have explained is that one, buying, just, you know, buy and hold, right? I buy because I believe this is my conviction. I think it's gonna work, and then I either wait to see if I win or lose. And then there's the next one, which I can see now practically how it works here, where I can buy, yes, and then if there's some news cycle that changes anything, I can do some arbitrage thereabout and maybe sell even before it resolves. Maybe you can explain that one as well.
Mm. Yeah, so that one, whatever I was trying to explain there was like you're buying into
Yeah.
the way shares work, the way you can buy shares, and then maybe you sell earlier than before, maybe the timeline that you wanted to sell reaches. Let me use an example of crypto. Maybe you bought Bitcoin at $90,000,
Mm.
and you are planning to sell it at maybe $105,000, but then uh, it's currently at 91 and you feel like it might drop, so you just sell anyways before it drop. So
Mm.
using that example, you can see you're still in profits
Yeah.
in as much as you said to bump upwards, because you are informed. Maybe you read some news, some fundamental news, or you did some technical analysis on chart. On
Mm.
now we're talking about silver, on silver, and you feel like it might dump. You just sell and get off the trade faster. So that's why prediction markets are a bit different from the traditional sports bets and other kinds of betting, where once you place a trade, you cannot change the outcome. Like if you said, if you did this on a traditional betting betting market, you said, yeah, silver will hit 150, and you said yes, you
Mm.
cannot go back and kind of try and change the outcome. But in prediction markets, depending on the volatility of what's going on, you can still cash out. However, nowadays, if you
Mm.
are into sports betting, they've also introduced such kind of a thing, but it's not the same. For example, if a match is going on,
Mm.
you say team A will win, there's a way you can cash out earlier. But now you see that's an event that is happening, and you
Yeah.
just used your instincts to cash out. But now in prediction markets, you use maybe technical analysis or fundamentals. Sometimes it's also just due to your guts, which
Mm.
is uh, not recommended, that we will talk about in a few.
Yeah.
So I don't know if maybe I made it clear.
Yeah. For me, it's clear. I don't know if
Yeah.
there's any questions. If anyone has any questions to Hazard about just getting started on trading, whether you're a builder, by the way, a beginner or an actual trader, just put it in the chats. We'll be able to see them, and then we can get started. And it sounds like a good place to then go on to what is it called? What you've just mentioned right now. Yeah. So using your gut, are you researching here? Is it the normal trading where you have to look at charts all day? What's
Yeah.
happening here?
Let me go back to the example of Elon's tweets. Uh, so there was a there was what was it under? Culture. Yes,
Culture. Yes. Mm.
Elon's tweets. So you come there and you want to place your bet, and
Mm-hmm.
you haven't done research, or maybe you don't even know about his trends or his how he tweets.
Mm.
So if you don't do research, or if you don't follow his lifestyle, I wouldn't recommend you to go to the culture side of Polymarket to place your bets, because for that it needs kind of information on let's use Elon's example, maybe on Elon's life. You need some kind of information. Some people may term some information as insider information, because uh, for example, there was just before, I think, Maduro's arrest, the president of Venezuela,
Mm.
there's a one trader who noticed pizza is being bought near the is it White House or State House?
Mm. White House.
I don't know. Yeah. So
Mm.
this trader, he did his research and his fundamentals. Maybe he has been noticing whenever there's some good news, the people around there buy pizza, order pizza to eat. So he placed a very huge wager that Maduro would be arrested. There was a Polymarket wager whether he would be arrested before. I don't remember the exact dates. January something. So
Mm.
as you can see, that trader is profitable because he is very observant and he does his research according to behavior of certain people related to uh, political outcomes. So for him, he just noticed there was some kind of pizza being bought, so it predicts maybe some sort of, I don't know, celebration regarding the news that was previously about possible arrest of Maduro. So he bought maybe yes, he will be arrested between this period. I think he put 30k USD and he maybe it's not him, but someone put 30k and he got over 10x, so like 300k. So that's an example of a trader who is very observant. He's doing an analysis. Another
Mm.
example would be um, maybe emotional traders, like the example of Rihanna.
Mm.
They maybe they're emotional. They think Rihanna, yes, will get pregnant, and they use the emotions to trade. Sometimes it will be right, sometimes wrong, but empirically, that's not the way to trade poly markets using emotions.
Mm.
I'm lost on what you asked, but I was just giving example of, of, of combination of traders on poly market.
Yeah, which makes sense. I mean, you can get in, and if you have, so I think this begs the question. There's nothing like insider trading here, because if you know, you know, right? If you have the information and I don't, you win. There's no insider trading. Nobody can accuse you of anything like that because that's your edge, right? Insider information is your edge. Like the person who noticed the pizza thing. Yeah, not many people will notice that, so that's my edge. And this transcends into trading in general, right?
Yeah.
Emotions aside, if you're more analytical, if you're more logical, but mostly if you can notice the patterns, you will win eventually, right? As opposed to me who will see, and this will be maybe the tragedy of the collection, the knowledge of the crowd, right? We will tend to also go to where we think most people are leaning towards. So again, that would be a foolish way, so to speak. Not foolish per se, but the wrong way of looking at maybe prediction market. So I do not know if you have any other thing you'd like to add here, but for me, if I'm gonna start on prediction market, first of all, I see the trend and I see that it's more in the Western, the US side. I'm yet to see any products, any African products, any East African products. Do you know of any local products doing this? Do you have any advice for anyone looking to build something like this, just for local context? Would
No,
it work even? Will it?
no, I don't think I know of any, but sometimes you don't really have to build something that uh, has already been built. Like there is now Polymarket for the
Mhm.
entire world.
Yeah.
Then Kalshi is mostly US based. Polymarket, by the way, the US citizens can't really use it, but
Oh, for real?
I
I
think they
didn't
are
know.
working towards making it available for US citizens. Yeah, you're lucky when you're in other
Oh,
parts of the world. Everything is really available for the rest of the world somehow because of strict regulations, I guess, maybe on the other side of the world. So, but there's something that has been going on. I haven't checked it personally where builders can build something on top of Polymarket. I don't have clear information yet, so I'll give an example of if you are into crypto and blockchain. If you go into your MetaMask wallet, you will notice that there is a button for predicting maybe prices of coins. So on the hindsight, I think such wallets have used Polymarket to build something inside them. So for builders, probably in Africa and probably in East Africa, you can also do such a thing. Maybe you can build, you can use Polymarket to just build something to predict maybe stocks, prices of stocks within your region. For instance, maybe Safaricom stocks or I don't know about stocks much, just know about other digital currency. But you get what I'm saying. Like stocks, you can build something that helps the usual stocks traders predict prices of stocks like Safaricom shares, KPLC shares. You can be as creative as you want, probably just on testnet to even predict maybe even like ticket fares, because during things like during holidays like Easter or even the one that's about to happen during Valentine's, you can build prediction markets for ticket prices of hotels if they're going to skyrocket up to certain amounts, yes or no. So those are some of the things that uh, builders can work on that are fun. But to be honest, the majority of so for these things to work, there has to be liquidity. And most liquidity is I'm not sure about the local market if they're interested in. I think they are, like, locally people are interested mostly on sports and football, so you can build things around football and sports. If you're building other kinds of pop culture or political stuff, you can build maybe if you're building something on pop, you can target mostly Asians and I don't know, North Americans. If you're building sports, Africa really love betting on if you're building there are so many things that I think we can work on. And there's something I wanted to talk about that maybe we are, or maybe do you have another question on something that people need to build? But majorly just check things that are related to you or what you like. For me, I've noticed locally people love probably sports, so you can build prediction markets centered around sports. Maybe I'm wrong because
Yeah, I
I love
agree.
sports.
I
I
agree.
don't. Yeah.
In one way or another, I think, for example, just the other day when Manchester United won, even I don't watch sports, but I knew I would have bet on one of those things, right?
Yeah.
Because the hype around it, the energy around it. So I completely agree with that. You said you want to say something else? You wanted to add on to something?
Mm. Yeah. I wanted to talk about maybe talk about types of traders
Mm,
and how we can influence probably or rather reduce how you might get losses. Yeah,
okay.
by identifying some things. So usually prices move due to breaking news, uh, mostly breaking news or narrative shifts, influential traders entering positions, or liquidity change. Let me use breaking news for instance. uh, Breaking news could be something like, let me just use Maduro for example. Maduro has been arrested, so that's a breaking news.
Mm,
So you can get someone can create a poll of maybe oil prices. So using that breaking news, you can
Mm.
check what's going on, because so you can get someone will say, will the price of oil reduce maybe by $2 because maybe he has been arrested, by $2 in Venezuela or somewhere. So using that breaking news, you can easily make correct decisions on the prediction that you are going to say a yes to or a no to. Narrative shifts. If again, if you're a football fan, if you are watching the finals of AFCON, during the last minute, the the players felt like the referee was unfair and they walked off the pitch. And maybe there was a poll if do you think Senegal will win the AFCON? So because they started walking off, you can see that's a narrative shift. Because usually, according to rules of football, if someone walks off the field, the game will be forfeited and the others will win. So if you're not very keen there, you you might end up making wrong bets. Then influential traders entering positions. Now this one is maybe on crypto. Maybe let me use just crypto or even stocks. Maybe or even let me use Tesla shares or something. So Bitcoin prices are Bitcoin. Let me use a less, not less coin, but another coin.
Mm.
Yeah, maybe there is a token, and then a whale buys like $500 million of that token. So there's an influential trader who has entered a position. So using that knowledge, you know there will be shifts on the price. So if you said the price will pump, the yes might, you might shift your winnings to the yes, because you know an influential trader has entered the position. This one also is related to liquidity changes. So now there's more liquidity in that market.
Yes.
So using such kinds of knowledge, you can influence how, or rather, you can position your way to be a bit profitable.
Mm.
And that also ties. You remember when I was talking about now the football,
Yep.
like the new information emerged that the Senegalese players walked off the pitch. So you can get the prize moved from, maybe if the probability of Senegal winning was higher because they walked the pitch, now the probability of Morocco started rising. So now using that, a trader can also even just bet on that probability arbitrage. They can quickly shift to Morocco to place their bets on Morocco, and again just, and then in the same game, the Morocco guy was given a penalty and he didn't score. So now you can see there's another shift. So a trader can really make use of such information to influence their predictions. Yeah,
That makes
and
sense. Hmm.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's,
Hmm.
it's complex. So you need to be always uh, alert. Turn on your
Yeah.
notifications if you're trading political news or sports news, and check things around.
I think I mean, I think what it has reminded me is how there are alerts for how, say, Nancy Pelosi trades. Yeah. So people follow everything she does, right? Because uh, there has been a trend of how she buys stocks or buy
Yeah.
different assets. So it's when you talk about following how whales are trading, it makes me think of that. But also, it makes me think of then anything in this ecosystem or anything in this world is tradable. I don't know if that's a fair statement to say. Where we are at right now, I mean, we've seen it even in the base app. You can trade anything if you just turn it into an asset. It can be tradable, right? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Mm,
No, I'm going
yeah.
a bit off topic, yeah, but still. That's what it has brought to mind. That anything right now can be an asset that can be traded, right?
Yeah, apart from prediction markets, something else that's been happening is tokenization. So
Mm,
tokenization enables exactly what you've said, like um, Burj Khalifa can be tokenized, and then now people can trade on it 24/7 a day, 24 hours a day. Unlike traditionally, where if you wanted to buy probably land, you have to go through so many paperwork. So right now you can tokenize anything. So by tokenizing everything and anything, you you can now bring them on chain, and then now people can trade on them. As you can see on prediction markets, uh, news sort of has been tokenized, like
mm,
even political, though that one has been there for a while. Political news have been tokenized, and now people can trade them, yes or no. Yeah.
mm.
So I think what
You're
you've
right.
said is
Yeah,
super true.
you're right. Yeah, and I don't know. I've not been a trader for long, but now I'm super excited, sort of excited, but also nervous as to then what this means. Yeah, and I'm just inviting anyone and everyone. If you've been looking for the easiest way to start trading or getting onboarded on just the trading side of this world, I find prediction markets as one of the simplest ways. Yeah, because it's every concept that you use to trade in any other market, just made it more practical and without the technicality and the complexities. You still need to do your own research thoroughly. And as
Mm.
Hazard has said, you still need some, maybe hacks to get the edge, because remember, you're not the only one trading. In fact, you're exchanging with another person who's just equally stoked as you. But I find it as the simplest way I can tell somebody, hey, this is how trading works. These are the concepts of trading. This is how an exchange works. So I think one of the reasons why I was so excited about what you wrote is just that, right? This is from beginner to region, or from beginner to experienced trader. It's for everyone, really, when you think about it like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe I could also talk about just one more thing as we are.
Yep.
Are we winding up, or you have more?
No, we are almost top of the hour, but feel free to give
Yeah,
us more insight.
still not financial advice, but
Thank
if
you.
now you feel like you want to be a profitable trader, uh, just behave like a risk manager. So
Mm,
never allocate to a single market.
mm,
Apart from prediction markets, I usually, when I was reading about trading, I saw that uh, people allocate like just 1% of their net worth on trading, unlike us retail who allocate 99% of our money
mm,
because we are greedy. So never allocate like too much. If
mm,
you go overboard, probably it should be 3%. If your net worth is $1,000, please don't allocate like $600. What is the 2% of 1,000? $10. Yeah, you need to allocate just $10. So that's why you
right.
get people with deep liquidity. Maybe someone has $100 million. His 1% is good enough. His $1 million, so he's just good. Uh, then also just diversify across unrelated fields: sports, culture, politics. That's on Polymarket now. Like today, I'm not encouraging anyone, but there are Champions League games going on. Do your own research and know which teams might win or lose. Again, you go and listen to some pop news. Maybe you can bet is Taylor Swift going to get married to person X. Again, you
Mm.
probably go back to politics and see, is country X going to have a new president, something like
Mm.
that. So you just diversify. Yeah. And one reason why I think Polymarket is not really better but a bit attractive than other, there are other kinds of prediction markets. Uh, I guess my main reason is because it's built on chain, but then it's deployed on the Polygon network. So it's deployed on chain. There's stablecoin settlement. There's no hidden volatility. Like you don't use stuff like ETH or BTC or Polygon or anything that are always volatile. You use stablecoins, USDC.
Mm.
There are no fees. There are no fees. Like when now you're just when you want to say, let me not use that example. Let me say maybe, is it going to rain in California? Yes or no. So when you're going to say that and you place $100 of your money, it's just the $100. There, there's not any point of time that maybe $5 will be slashed. So now your 100 is 95. Then it's open global access. Well, of course, except US users, but I guess they will work on that. So anyone in Greenland or Kenya or Australia or India, so anyone can just use Polymarket, and so that brings about even deep liquidity. So there's
Mm.
always liquidity flowing around. So that
Mm.
I think that combination is really powerful. Yeah, and more of it are on my article, are also on everywhere. You can also just read about it. Yeah, and
Yeah.
the market has something for everyone. If you're a developer, find out how to plug in prediction in your app. Like the way I said, many wallets now have some kind of prediction within them. So yeah, I guess that's something that we can check also. And there is no KYC. People don't like KYC things.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. Thank you for this additional points. Yeah. I don't know. I can't see any comments on my side. I don't know if you see any comments on Twitter or any questions I can't see. But it has been a lovely conversation. Do you want to do a part two of this? Mostly, yes, I'm gonna just throw this at you, but no pressure. We have talked about prediction markets, and you've introduced something interesting on tokenizing assets and tokenized. You can tokenize anything because prediction markets is literally tokenized news. You wanna talk about that next? Is this something that you know more about? I know I would be interested in knowing and hearing more about how that is looking like. And maybe this time we can even check out some ways we can do that. Maybe on the base. I don't know. If you're
Yeah.
down, I can lock
We
that in
can,
as well. Yeah.
yeah, we can plan and also talk about that uh, in the near future about tokenization.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thank you so much, Hazard. It's been 1 hour of learning about prediction markets. I hope this sparks curiosity and also, trading is a whole lot of things, but this is a very beginner-friendly way to start.
Yeah.
So thank you as well. Yeah.
Mm. Uh, so I'll just end it by telling the people that making money on the poly market is not about predicting the future perfectly.
Mm.
So it's just about pricing uncertainty better or earlier than the crowds. Yeah, that's how I'll end this conversation.
Amazing. And I think that's the first even quote that's on your article. I loved it as well.
Mm.
Right? Awesome. Absolutely. We'll watch out for anything else you put out. Yeah, and share it, of course. So have a good one. Bye.
Right, bye. Polymarket.